Marvel Universe Series 1, Trading Cards, and Bell. 1990, Superheroes category. Captain America, real name, Steve Rogers, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Captain America Comics number 1, March, 1941. During the most desperate hours of World War II, a frail young man named Steve Rogers volunteered for a dangerous experiment, ingesting the top-secret super soldier serum. He became Captain America, the living symbol of freedom, his body now physically perfect, his fighting skills now without equal. Cap joined the war against the Nazis and contributed greatly to the Allied powers' eventual victory. Today, he continues that tradition as he fights to defend America against all those forces that would threaten her. Did you know, Captain America was frozen in a block of ice in the Arctic for over a decade before the superhero team known as the Avengers rescued him? Spider-Man. In black costume, real name, Peter Parker, first appearance, in black costume, Amazing Spider-Man number 252, May, 1984. While he fought in the secret wars on another planet, Spider-Man's original costume was destroyed. An alien machine made this new black costume to replace all those possessed built-in web shooters and allowed him to change his clothes with but a thought. Spidey was forced to abandon it when he discovered that it was actually an alien symbiote that wanted to take over his body. Since then, he occasionally wears an identical costume that he made from cloth. Did you know, Spider-Man's alien black costume is now worn by his arch-enemy, Venom. The Hulk, real name, Robert Bruce Banner, first appearance, The Incredible Hulk number 1, May, 1962. While working at a nuclear research facility, scientist Bruce Banner was accidentally caught in a gamma bomb explosion. The blast transformed him into the monstrous, rampaging Hulk, a creature with childlike intelligence and superhuman strength. He can lift over 100 tons when enraged, which he often directs against those who would threaten him or other innocent beings. Ever since, when enraged, Banner turns into the Hulk and stays that way until the raging giant calms down and reverts back to his normal human form. Did you know, the Hulk can easily jump over 3 miles in one leap? Daredevil, real name, Matt Murdock, first appearance, Daredevil number 1, April, 1964. As a result of an accident that involved a radioactive isotope when he was a teenager, Daredevil lost his sight, but all his other senses were enhanced to incredible superhuman levels. He also gained his amazing radar sense, which, in most ways, more than makes up for his blindness. With his superior athletic ability, Daredevil takes risks that most people who can see what they're doing wouldn't dare take. Did you know, Daredevil doesn't need a lie detector to tell if someone is lying. He can just tune in his hearing to the person's heartbeat to listen for sudden jumps in its rate. Nick Fury, group affiliation, S.H.I.E.L.D. Leader, first appearance, Sergeant Fury in his Howling Commandos number 1, May, 1963. Having established a reputation as a brave and fearless soldier during World War II, Nick Fury was chosen to head S.H.I.E.L.D., the Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Directorate, in its mission to detect and destroy covert threats to the democratic way of life. With his vast combat experience, technical know-how, and fighting prowess, this tough-talking, hard-hitting super spy is more than a match for just about any opponent he faces. Did you know, Nick Fury regularly ingests a top-secret Infinity Formula to maintain his youth and vigor? The Thing, real name, Ben Grimm, group affiliation, Fantastic Four, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 1, November, 1961. Exposure to cosmic rays on a space mission turned the normal-looking Ben Grimm into the monstrous Thing. Although he hasn't been too happy whenever he's looked in the mirror since then, he now has superhuman strength. He can lift over 85 tons, and is virtually invulnerable, which just goes to prove that beauty isn't everything. Did you know, the Thing's most persistent and annoying foes are the Yancey Street Gang, a group of street toughs who've been tormenting the big guy for years by pulling the most outrageous practical jokes on him. Professor X, real name, Charles Xavier, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, X-Men number 1, September, 1963. Realizing that normal humans would fear mutants like himself, Professor X built a school to teach mutants how to use their superhuman powers safely, and founded the X-Men. He possesses the most powerful telepathic mind known to man, which he uses to lead the X-Men and combat evil mutants all over the world. Did you know, Professor X's stepbrother is none other than the unstoppable Juggernaut? Cyclops, real name, Scott Summers, group affiliation, X-Factor, first appearance, X-Men number 1, September 1963. Cyclops has the mutant ability to fire powerful blasts energy from his eyes with pinpoint accuracy. For many years he was a valiant leader of the Uncanny X-Men. Now he heads a group of mutants known as X-Factor. Although he loved Marvel Girl for many years, he eventually married a woman named Madeline Pryor. Unfortunately, their marital bliss came to a bizarre and violent end when she eventually became his most implacable foe, the sorceress Goblin Queen. Did you know, if it weren't for his ruby quartz goggles, Cyclops' optic blasts would emanate uncontrollably every time he opened his eyes?
Marvel Girl, real name, Jean Grey, group affiliation, X-Factor, first appearance, X-Men number 1, September, 1963. Marvel Girl is a mutant who has the mind-boggling ability of telekinesis, which allows her to manipulate any object by just thinking about moving it. When you add to that her power to zap anyone who even looks at her funny with a blast of pure mental energy, you have one woman who knows how to take care of herself in even the most dangerous situations. Did you know, an evil alien life form assumed Marvel Girl's appearance and took her place for over a year, and no one, not even her best friends, realized it at the time.
Wolverine, real name, Logan, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Incredible Hulk number 180, October 1974, savage, unpredictable, unstoppable. All of these words describe the man known as Wolverine. He is without a doubt the most formidable member of the X-Men, and, some would say, the most loyal as well. His razor-sharp claws and his ferocious attitude make his enemies think twice about crossing him, and those that do cross him rarely get the chance to repeat their mistake. Did you know, Wolverine possesses a built-in healing factor that allows him to recover from even the most severe wounds in an amazingly short time?
Phoenix, real name, Rachel Summers, group affiliation, Excalibur, first appearance, X-Men number 141, January, 1981. Phoenix is from an alternate future timeline in which mutants like herself have been ruthlessly eradicated by the robotic Sentinels. She came back to our era in order to prevent her future from ever happening. Connected to the fundamental life force of the universe, Phoenix commands incalculable telekinetic power, which she can release as a shattering blast of energy or use to reconfigure the molecular structure or any substance. Did you know, Phoenix's parents are the mutants known as Cyclops and Marvel Girl?
Power Man, real name, unknown, goes by the name Luke Cage, first appearance, Luke Cage, hero for hire number 1, June, 1972, framed for a crime he didn't commit. Luke Cage volunteered to be a guinea pig in a scientific experiment in order to win his release from prison. The experiment gave him phenomenal strength. He can lift 3 tons, an impervious, steel-hard skin. Now, as Power Man, he uses his fantastic powers to help those in need while searches for evidence to clear his good name. Did you know, Power Man takes on most of his cases as a hero for hire on the employ of a client?
Dazzler, real name, Allison Blair, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, X-Men number 130, February, 1980. Dazzler possesses the mutant ability to transmute sound into radiant bursts of light. She can project anything from a luminescent stream of brilliant colors to a laser beam of titanic force. Although her first love is her career as a singer, Dazzler is never hesitant about using her remarkable abilities to enlighten evildoers as to the error of their ways. Did you know, as good as Dazzler is with her light powers, there are some who would say she is even better at roller skating? Dagger, real name, Tanny Bowen, group affiliation, Cloak Dagger, first appearance, Spectacular Spider-Man number 64, March, 1982. Tanti Bowen was a teenage runaway who arrived in New York City and was quickly kidnapped by criminal drug manufacturers, injected with an experimental drug. Tanti unexpectedly acquired the amazing power to create light knives, which she can use to drain the energy from her enemies or cure people afflicted by drugs or poisons. Taking the name Dagger, this heroine has since devoted herself to wiping out the scourge of illegal drugs that pervades today's world. Did you know, Dagger is the only person capable of traveling in her partner Cloak's dimension of darkness without suffering any ill effects, other than Cloak.
Quasar, real name, Wendell Vaughn, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Captain America number 217, January, 1978. Quasar is the latest in a series of protectors of the universe beings entrusted by the cosmic entity known as Ian with the guardianship of civilized life throughout the cosmos. His amazing quantum bands allow him to create solid objects out of pure energy and to survive in the vacuum of outer space. Quasar is without question one of the most powerful heroes on the scene today. Did you know, unbeknown to the Fantastic Four, Quasar operates out of 4 Freedoms Plaza, the FF's headquarters. Submariner, real name, Namor, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Marvel Comics number 1, October, 1939. Prince Namor the Submariner is the superpowered heir to the throne of the undersea kingdom of legendary Atlantis, at times a friend and at others a foe of land-dwelling humans. This hot-tempered monarch has on occasion led his Atlantean hordes in wars of vengeance against the surface world to combat mankind's polluting ways. More recently, he's left Atlantis to use his might, his wisdom and his vast wealth to fight polluters, using the corporate boardrooms of the surface world as his battlefield. Did you know, even though Namor can breathe both water and air, the longer he is out of water, the more his super strength fades. Hulk, Grey, real name, Robert Bruce Banner, first appearance, as the Grey Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 324. October, 1986, after an unsuccessful attempt to cure himself from transforming into the Green Hulk whenever he became enraged, Bruce Banner started becoming a different man-like creature instead. Now, whenever night falls, he changes into a gray-skinned Hulk who's more sinister and destructive than the Green Hulk had ever been. Though not as strong as the Green Hulk, he could now lift only 70 tons. The Grey Hulk combines guile and cunning with sheer brute force to more than make up for the loss. Did you know, the Grey Hulk was employed for a while as the enforcer for a Las Vegas casino? Thor, earthly identity, Eric Masterson, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Journey into Mystery number 83, August, 1962, renowned as the bravest and most noble of his kind. Thor is the legendary Norse god of thunder, having journeyed to Earth from Asgard, fabled home of the gods. Thor lends both his tremendous strength, he can lift over 100 tons, and his invincible hammer Mjolnir toward the cause of honor and justice. Did you know, when Thor transforms into his earthly identity of Eric Masterson by stamping his hammer once upon the ground, the hammer itself transforms into a cane. Mr. Fantastic, real name, Reed Richards, group affiliation, Fantastic Four, leader, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 1, November, 1961. While on a space mission aboard an experimental rocket of his own design, the brilliant scientist Reed Richards was bombarded by cosmic rays. The radiation gave him the amazing ability to change his body into any shape imaginable. No wonder that he took the name Mr. Fantastic. Since then, he has used his powers and his genius to defend Earth from the most powerful, most evil and most bizarre supervillains the world has ever known. Did you know, Mr. Fantastic's uniform is composed of unstable molecules, which allow it to change shape as he does. Black Panther, real name, T'Challa, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 52, July, 1966. As heir to the throne of the African nation of Wakanda, T'Challa was also heir to the powers of the sacred Panther totem by ingesting a secret formula made from mystic tropical herbs. His natural strength, speed and agility were phenomenally enhanced, and he learned to track and stalk as well as any jungle cat. Now, as the Black Panther, he is an internationally renowned hero and the protector of his people. Did you know? As King of Wakanda, the Black Panther is the only Avenger who rules a nation. Archangel, real name, Warren Worthington III, group affiliation, X-Factor, first appearance, X-Men #1, September, 1963, with his metallic wings, Archangel can soar faster than the speed of sound, and with a thought, the high-flying mutant can use them to shoot armor-ripping razor darts laced with a paralyzing neurotoxin, but his awesome powers come with an orphan price. If he's not careful, he'll lapse into a berserker rage, and attack both friend and foe alike with lethal ferocity. Did you know? After his own mutant wings were destroyed in the aftermath of a brutal battle, Archangel was given his new metal wings by the merciless villain known as Apocalypse. Iceman, real name, Bobby Drake, group affiliation, X-Factor, first appearance, X-Men #1, September, 1963, the frosty, fun-loving mutant known as Iceman has the amazing ability to freeze the moisture and the air around him into ice and shape it into almost any form he desires. One of his favorite tricks is to create an ice slide beneath his feet and ride it through the air. Without a doubt, Iceman is the coolest superhero around. Did you know? Iceman's powers have recently gotten so out of control that he must wear a special belt to contain them. Wolverine, real name, Logan, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Incredible Hulk #180, October, 1974. Not much is known about the true origins of the mutant called Wolverine. He was found in the Canadian wilderness, living as a savage, untamed beast. At some point in the past, his skeleton was laced with unbreakable adamantium, and adamantium claws were installed in his forearms. It was while wearing this costume that Wolverine joined the X-Men. Though later educated in the ways of modern society, his personality is still a reflection of the savage life he once led. Did you know, before he joined the X-Men, Wolverine worked as a top Canadian secret agent?
Storm, real name, Ororo Munro, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Giant Size X-Men #1, May, 1975. Storm has the mutant power to completely control the weather. She can whip up lightning and thunder, hurricane force downpour with less effort than most people use to tie their shoelaces, and she can fly by riding the wind. With her nerves of steel and her forceful personality, it is no surprise that Storm is the current leader of the X-Men. Did you know, Storm suffers from acute claustrophobia? Shadowcat, real name, Kitty Pryde, group affiliation, Excalibur, first appearance, X-Men #129, January, 1980. Shadowcat has the mutant power known as phasing. She can become intangible and pass through any solid object. She can use this power to disrupt electric circuits and program computers by physically entering them. Although she can be as goofy and prone to infatuation as most girls her age, this teenager shows a maturity beyond her years in high-pressure situations. Did you know, Shadowcat's natural state is intangibility? It's only by concentration and training that she can keep herself in a solid state.
Moon Knight, real name, Mark Spector, first appearance, Werewolf by Night #32, August, 1975. Mark Spector made his living by taking jobs as a mercenary around the globe. While working in Egypt, Spector was shot and left for dead by one of his fellow soldiers, but he miraculously recovered, believing that he had been resurrected by Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon, to serve as his avenging agent on Earth. Renouncing his mercenary ways, Spector went forth as Moon Knight to deliver Khonshu's justice to criminals around the world. Did you know, Moon Knight's strength increases and decreases with the phases of the moon? Lockheed, group affiliation, Excalibur, first appearance, X-Men #166, February, 1983. Lockheed is the alien pet dragon of the mutant known as Shadowcat, discovered by her during a mission in space. Lockheed formed an immediate and lasting attachment to the teenage girl, and returned with her to Earth. With his abilities to fly and breathe flame, he has more than enough power to cause anyone who might threaten his young master to think twice. Did you know, no one, not even Shadowcat, knows which planet Lockheed comes from?
Aunt May, real name, May Parker. Group affiliation, Grey Panthers. First appearance, Amazing Fantasy number 15, August, 1962. May Parker is the loving aunt of Peter Parker, better known to the world as the Amazing Spider-Man. After Peter's parents were killed, May and her husband, Ben Parker, took Peter into their home and raised him like their own son, instilling in him strong moral values. Although Spider-Man no longer lives with his aunt, May Parker still serves as a constant inspiration to the wall crawler. Did you know, despite all the years Aunt May has known Peter Parker, she isn't aware that he's Spider-Man, and is, in fact, terrified of the web-slinging superhero.
Spider-Man, real name, Peter Parker, first appearance, Amazing Fantasy number 15, August, 1962. Peter Parker became Spider-Man by accident. He was bitten by a radioactive spider during a science demonstration. He gained superhuman strength. He can lift over 10 tons, super agility, the ability to stick to walls, his amazing, danger-detecting spider sense, and the realization that with great power comes great responsibility. Ever since, Spidey has used his powers to bring hundreds of criminals, from the most common car thieves to the most sinister supervillains. Did you know, the webs that Spidey spins out of his web shooters are a secret formula of his own creation? Cosmic Spider-Man, real name, Peter Parker, first appearance, as Cosmic Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man number 158, December, 1989, last appearance, as Cosmic Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man number 329, February, 1990. Recently, Spider-Man was granted cosmic powers by the mysterious Enigma Force so that he could combat the Tri-Sentinel, a giant robotic creature that menaced the entire world. As the Cosmic Spidey, he could fly, had virtually unlimited strength and could form his webbing into any shape by mental force alone, once the Tri-Sentinel had been defeated. However, Spider-Man's cosmic powers disappeared as well. Did you know, with his cosmic powers, Spider-Man was the strongest superhero in the Marvel Universe? Captain America's motorcycle, make and model, Harley-Davidson Custom Special, engine, 700cc HVV twin inline 4-stroke engine, cruising range, 340 miles, performance, standing start 1/4 mile, 11.5 seconds at 122 miles per hour, first appearance, Captain America number 259, July, 1981. Captain America's standard mode of transportation is his custom-designed motorcycle, which was a gift from a grateful fan whose life Cap had saved. Built to ride on the roughest roads, it can get Cap to the scene of any disaster in minutes, regardless of the terrain. Cap stores his motorcycle in his mobile van headquarters. Did you know, Captain America first rode a motorcycle overseas during World War II? Silver Surfer, real name, Norrin Radd, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 48, March, 1966. Once the herald of the planet-devouring being known as Galactus, the Silver Surfer eventually rebelled against his former master. Since then, he has been cruising the spaceways on his indestructible board to use his cosmic spawn powers for the benefit beings in need across the universe. He has incredible strength. He can lift well over 100 tons, and he can shoot explosive bolts of pure energy from his hands. Did you know, the Silver Surfer does not need to eat or breathe, he absorbs everything he needs to live through his skin in the form of cosmic energy. Human Torch, real name, Johnny Storm, group affiliation, Fantastic Four, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 1. November, 1961. This hot-headed hero got his searing superpowers from exposure to cosmic rays while on an experimental space mission. Ever since, he's used his ability to flame on and shoot fire from his body to make life uncomfortably hot for supervillains everywhere. A high-temperature, high-flying Human Torch is easily the most sizzling superhero in the Marvel Universe. Did you know, the Human Torch is married to Alicia Masters, the former longtime girlfriend of his fellow IFF teammate, The Thing. Doctor Strange, real name, Stephen Strange, first appearance, Strange Tales number 110, July, 1963, as Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange has at his command a vast assortment of powerful magical spells, which he uses to combat any evil supernatural beings who would use their dark powers to threaten the Earth, based in his Sanctum Sanctorum, and with the help of his all-seeing Orb of Agamotto, his Cloak of Levitation and his Eye of Agamotto amulet, he the mystic guardian of our world. Did you know, Doctor Strange received his magical training from a Tibetan mystic known as the Ancient One? Havok, real name, Alex Summers, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, X-Men number 54, March, 1969. Havok has a mutant power to project concentrated blasts of charged plasma energy, enough to shatter a mountainside, but his power is so uncontrollable that he must wear his special costume to channel it safely. Although he prefers living a normal life over superheroing, Havok recently rejoined the X-Men after his lover, Polaris, was turned into the vengeance-seeking malice by the mutant-hating Marauders. Did you know? Havok's brother is none other than the former X-Men and present X-Factor leader known as Cyclops. Colossus, real name, Peter Rasputin, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Giant Size X-Men number 1, May, 1975, born and raised on a collective farm in the Soviet Union, Colossus discovered that he had the mutant ability to transform his body into invincible organic steel. In his armored form, Colossus possesses enormous strength. He can lift 70 tons, and near limitless stamina. His gentle, soft-spoken manner is a sharp contrast to the tremendous physical power at his command. Did you know when he's not fighting supervillains, Colossus uses his free time to pursue his favorite pastime, painting? Wolverine, as Patch, real name, Logan, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, as Patch, Marvel Comics presents number 10, January, 1989. When Wolverine feels he must simply cut loose and get away from his X-Men teammates, he journeys to the city of Madripoor in Southwest Asia. There, he goes by a different identity, Patch, in his pursuit of pleasure and relaxation. But his vacations typically turn into brawls with the local crime lords and drug czars, which, for a guy like Wolverine, is about as much fun as he can ever hope to have. Did you know, Wolverine's healing factor slows his aging? He is already over 80 years old. Nightcrawler, real name, Kurt Wagner, group affiliation, Excalibur, first appearance, Giant Size X-Men number 1, June, 1975, easily the most bizarre-looking mutant hero. The German-born Nightcrawler has one of the strangest superpowers as well. He can instantaneously teleport himself over distances of up to 3 miles. Each jump is accompanied by an audible BAMF sound, and the nauseating stench of brimstone. Add to that his incredible acrobatic skills, and the happy-go-lucky Nightcrawler is more than a match for almost any evildoer. Did you know, before Professor X recruited him for his first superhero team, the X-Men, Nightcrawler was the star performer of a Bavarian circus.
She-Hulk, real name, Jennifer Walters, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Savage She-Hulk, number 1, February, 1980. After getting a blood transfusion from her cousin, Bruce Banner, also known as the Hulk, Jen Walters acquired the ability to transform into the sensational She-Hulk, and quickly learned to love her new identity. Now she's the She-Hulk all the time, and she's anything but shy about showing off her chartreuse complexion, her fabulously muscled figure and her superhuman strengths. She can bench press 75 tons. Did you know, She-Hulk gets around in a lime green 1959 Dodge convertible, which she had specially customized so it can fly as well as drive.
Captain Britain, real name, Brian Braddock, group affiliation, Excalibur, first appearance, Captain Britain number 1, October 13, 1976. Captain Britain was selected by the sorcerer Merlin to become the embodiment of the spirit of Great Britain. His strength was mystically augmented to phenomenal degree. He can lift up to 2 tons, and he can fly as well, although somewhat hot-headed and stubborn. Captain Britain personifies the noblest qualities of the legendary Knights of the Round Table. Did you know, Captain Britain's powers derive from England itself, away from his homeland? His might is considerably reduced.
Rogue, real name, unknown, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Avengers Annual Number 10, 1981. Rogue has the mutant ability to temporarily absorb the powers of others with but a touch, which allows her to use her enemies' strengths against them and makes her the most versatile member of the X-Men. She could also fly and has super strength. She can lift up to 50 tons, powers she permanently absorbed from the original Miss Marvel. Did you know, Rogue must always wear a full body suit to prevent her from accidentally absorbing the memories and powers of those around her.
Iron Man, real name, Anthony Stark, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Tales of Suspense number 39, March 1963. Iron Man gets his fantastic powers from his suit of micro-mesh armor. It gives him superhuman strength. He can lift up to 100 tons at peak operating capacity, the ability to fly via his jet boots, and a variety of built-in weapons, foremost among these being his devastating repulsor rays. Iron Man is dedicated to defeating those forces that would threaten the security of the nation and the entire world. Did you know, as multimillionaire industrialist Tony Stark, Iron Man provides funds to repair the damage caused by supervillain battles.
Invisible Woman, real name, Susan Richards, maiden name, Susan Storm, group affiliation, Fantastic Four, first appearance, Fantastic Four number 1, November, 1961, exposure to cosmic rays while on a space mission gave Sue Storm the abilities to become invisible at will, to turn anything nearby invisible, and to create invisible force fields and other invisible objects that can be used as weapons. Now a superheroine whose courage is apparent even when she isn't, she is also married to Mr. Fantastic and is the sister of the Human Torch. Did you know, the Invisible Woman frequently changes her hairstyle, an interesting passion considering that most people don't see her long enough to appreciate it.
Punisher's Battle Van engine, heavily modified Ford V8, engine output, 270 horsepower, performance, 0 to 100 miles per hour, acceleration, 9.4 seconds. The Punisher's Battle Van is a veritable mobile fortress. It contains a wide variety of built-in offensive weapons and is heavily armored against any sort of attack. Its built-in computer and surveillance equipment allow the Punisher to gather information about a suspect at a moment's notice. When he's out on a mission, the Punisher considers his battle van his home away from home. Did you know, the Punisher's friend, the technical wizard known as Microchip, designed the weaponry and armor for the Punisher's battle van? Longshot, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Longshot number 1, September 1985. Longshot is a synthetic humanoid created to serve as a slave in the entertainment industry of Mojo, an extra-dimensional tyrant, but Longshot escaped, and now uses the abilities Mojo gave him to combat his former master. Longshot has the unpredictable power of fabulous luck, combined with his amazing agility. This power allows him to perform acrobatic stunts considered impossible. As long as his motives are pure, the odds are always on his side. Did you know, Longshot has only 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand? The Beast, real name, Henry McCoy, group affiliation, X-Factor, first appearance, X-Men number 1, September 1963. The Beast possesses all of the strength, speed and agility of a jungle gorilla, and is just as free, too. This happy-go-lucky mutant can lift up to a ton, and can find a sure foothold on even the smoothest surfaces. Despite his appearance, the Beast conceals beneath his brutish exterior the mind of a brilliant scientist. Did you know, after taking an untested chemical mixture, which reacted with his mutant cell structure, the Beast became the blue and furry hero he is today? Punisher, real name, Frank Castle, born Castiglione, first appearance, Amazing Spider-Man number 129, February 1974, after his family was murdered by mobsters, Marine Corps Captain Frank Castle decided to take the law into his own hands, and became the Vengeance, crazed vigilante known as the Punisher. Now, this grim merciless one-man war on crime employs his vast arsenal of weapons to dispense his own lethal brand of justice, the kind that comes out of the barrel of a gun. Did you know, like the criminals he hunts, the Punisher is himself a fugitive from the law?
Storm, real name, Orville Munroe, group affiliation, X-Men, first appearance, Giant Size X-Men number 1, May, 1975. During the period when she wore this outfit, Storm's mutant power to control the weather was accidentally destroyed by the mutant inventor Forge. Despite her loss, Storm continued to lead the X-Men, relying on her daring and wit in her ongoing struggle against evil, and proving that it was never her superpowers that made her a hero, but her courage. Did you know, before she joined the X-Men, Storm was worshipped as a goddess by certain African tribes? Elektra, real name, Elektra Natchios, first appearance, Daredevil number 168, September, 1980. After her father was killed by terrorists, Elektra was taken in by the Hand, a ruthless band of ninjas, and taught the skills of a professional assassin. But she rebelled against her teachers, and now uses her deadly ninja skills to attack the Hand around the globe. Her astounding abilities in all forms of hand-to-hand combat make her an almost unbeatable foe. Did you know, the supervillain Bullseye killed Elektra, but she was brought back to life through the heroic efforts of Daredevil.
Cloak, real name, Tyrone Johnson, group affiliation, Cloak Dagger, first appearance, Spectacular Spider-Man number 64, March, 1982, captured by illegal drug manufacturers while a runaway teenager, Tyrone Johnson became the subject of a grisly experiment. An untested new designer drug that he was injected with unexpectedly turned him into Cloak, a being who needs to absorb the light energy of human souls to survive. Cloak can teleport over vast distances, and his body acts as a portal to the sinister dark dimension. Cloak now uses these powers to take his revenge on drug dealers all over the world. Did you know, Cloak's hunger for the light energy of human souls can only be controlled by his partner Dagger's light powers?
The Wasp, real name, Janet Van Dyne, group affiliation, Avengers, first appearance, Tales to Astonish, number 44, June, 1963. The winsome wasp has the power to shrink herself to the size of the flying insect for which she is named. At that size, wings sprout from her back, allowing this tiny heroine to fly. She also has use of her wasp's sting. She fires devastating blasts of bioelectric energy from her hands. Don't let her small size fool you. One sting from the wasp is enough to knock out all but the most powerful opponents. Did you know, the wasp has the largest assortment of costumes of any superhero? It's a rarity for her to wear the same outfit twice.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for upcoming videos for other cards categories. Subscribe and click notification.